Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the day. Welcome in to my messy craft room. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, obviously here in the UK, and this is my video for the Stamp Around UK video hop for the month of March. Apologies, I look like I'm in a ghost movie. The lighting in my craft room, I've got all my close-up lighting. The background lighting in my craft room is appalling. So I do look like I'm coming to you from a horror movie. So I do apologise for that. Let me bring up this screen instead so you're not having to look at my spooky face. This is me, Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, and this is where you'll find all of the links to my classes, my downloads, my blog posts, retired things, all things Love-a-Duckie are over there on loveaduckie.co.uk. So do hop over on there and check that out. But for our for our video hop this month, we are thinking about teenagers. Now, my craft room, perhaps it is a good job it is in darkness in the background. My craft room is so messy at the moment. It's always messy, but it is beyond messy at the moment and makes any teenager's bedroom look a delight, I have to say. So we won't spend too much concentrating on my background. Instead, let's bring in my downward facing camera and let's have a little look at what we are going to play with today to create a card for teenagers. I've got a drink with me. Quick slurp of that. Now, teenagers, it's never easy thinking what to do. I mean, obviously, if you're making a card for a specific teenager, you will have some idea of their likes, dislikes, all of those sorts of things. But I've sort of looked through my shelves, looked through my things, and I've picked out the Bistro Burger stamp set. So whether they're wanting a meaty burger or a veggie burger or whatever it is, and the chips, so a bit of a burger and chips I think will go down quite well with the dies that match that. I've also picked out the dotted circles 3D embossing folder because that's quite fun with its whirl of dots, and I've picked the full of life paper because one thing about being a teenager is hopefully they're full of life, and this beautiful bright bold coloured papers with their rainbows. Ooh, got lots of little bits that are flicking out there and spots and things, perfect for making vibrant teenagey type cards. And actually you could just sort of do some vibrant backgrounds with some lettering. The other stamp set, so the full of life paper actually comes from the Full of Life suite, obviously, which includes this Friends for Life stamp set, and this would be really good. Some of this paper, some of this probably in black on the top of it, and really bold, make excellent sort of teenage cards, make sort of graffiti wall type backgrounds, all of those sorts of things. But for today I thought we would go with Full of Life, some bistro burgers, and perhaps some dotted circles. And I've picked out this particular piece of paper, which I thought was quite fun. Sort of goes from the bright yellow at the top down through the greeny shades down to the darker blue. And I've also picked out a bit of daffodil delight cardstock and a bit of blueberry bushel. So there's our starting point. Let's see where that takes us. I haven't pre-planned anything as usual. If ever you watch my lives, you will know that it's very rare that I have anything pre-planned. Today is no exception, other than the bits and pieces that we're going to use. So let's come in and create. Which way am I going to take my cardstock? This way, this way, that way? It will go this way. So we'll do a standard card face, so cutting that piece of A4 card in half and then scoring it in half the other way. So whether you're doing that with A4 card or whether you're doing that with Imperial, cut it in half one way, score it in half the other, and you will get a standard size card base for your particular part of the world. Quick another slurp. I'm going to take some of this Daffodil Delight card and I'm going to cut this at 10 centimetres wide by 14.4, whatever your first size mat is. And that could sit on there. And then we've got this lovely bright bold paper. Now I'm going to need to cut that down. I think I'm going to cut it so I've just got a thinner piece of yellow at the top. So I'm going to cut it to 9.5. Win my trim around, and I'm going to cut the excess off at the top. Might want to leave a bit more of a bit of yellow. Then let's swing that round. Cut that to 13.9. Just trim a bit off the blue on the bottom. That's quite a fun bold background. I'm going to cut this in half. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this cardstock and I'm just going to tear it to come across here. Having torn it, I think we'll then emboss it. I'm going to centre that about like that. Let's bring in, it'll have to be the big machine. And for a 3D embossing folder, we want the base plate and mat number 4. Stick that on there. Open it up. Pop that in there. I've had a class today. I've got a class on Saturday. I've had various things going on, so my crafting area, as always happens, I don't know whether it happens to you when you're busy creating lots of things, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. At some point, I need to stop, have a good tidy. But that's not going to be right now. Okay, so there we have our dotty embossed piece. Okay, where's my paper gone? Well, you look away for 5 minutes. There we go, got caught up with the mats from the cut and emboss. Got that, got that. It's going to sit on there. A torn embossed piece that we're going to have coming across the middle there. Just going to trim this down a little bit. Make it 9.5. So let's take half a centimetre off that side. And half a centimetre off that side. Better. Just looking through twines and things. Got some Night of Navy twine here that I think will work. Let's bring in some glue and let's stick these layers together, and then we can concentrate on the bit we're going to stamp on the top. Bit of a gunky nozzle. There we go. Now let's stick that on there. And then let's take some of this twine. And I'll just tie that in a knot. I love this neutral tones thread because of course it is a linen thread, so like our sort of standard linen thread, it has that same texture and feel about it, which means it's great for tying. And right, let's stick that on our card front. Right, let's sit that to one side for a minute. Let's find ourselves some oddments of white cardstock, which there are many floating around. And I will just need to go and grab an ink pad. Haven't yet made it out of my class bag from this morning. Where have I put my burgers? There they are. I may actually choose not to use black. And to take the burger, I'm going to take some chips. We'll decide on a sentiment in a minute. What colour should I do this in? I think I'm going to go crumb cake. Let's take our chips. Now we'll colour that in with some stamping blends. I may need to go and grab a few more of those in a minute. I have got out my colour chart for the natural blends, because I think some of these may well be useful for this. So I'm thinking probably SU 500, possibly a bit of 400 for the for the bun. Let's come in and let's go all over with this one. I'm using the brush tip while I'm just covering quite a big area. I'm going to transfer over to the other tip. Around the edge a little bit. Let's bring this one in. I'm going to add some darker in this cross bit on the top. Come back in with the light one. And let's do the bottom. And then again we'll bring in this slightly darker one. And there's the shading on the bun. Back over. Right, we need some lettuce. So let's bring in some Granny Apple Green for our lettuce. Tucking out underneath there. And some more lettuce on the top here. Some tomatoes here as well. Come in with a slightly darker one and just add in in with the lighter one. Oh, missed a bit just there. It's a bit of dangly lettuce. Okay, and then we'll want some tomato. I think we'll have real red, and there is some gherkins in there. Would teenagers like a gherkin? I don't know. Or would they opt to have that taken out? Come around here for these tomatoes. Going to pop a little bit of yellow in the middle of that. The more central bit, sort of blend that out a little bit. And then I think I'll just use some light old olive for these gherkins. I have to say I'd probably opt to have my gherkins taken out. But we'll leave them in case this particular teenager enjoys them. And we want to do our burger itself. So I think I'm going to grab some SU 100 and 200. Let's come all over with 200. So obviously this is not a veggie burger. This is definitely of the beefy kind. But if you had got a vegetarian teenager, you could colour that accordingly. Come in with a slightly darker one. Take, if I find it. Black watercolour pencil and just add in, because I've used the crumb cake ink rather than a black ink. We've sort of lost that definition a little bit on the top there where that cross is. So let's just add that back in with some black watercolour pencil, and same with the sort of shading lines on here. Adding a bit of the definition back. Right, so there we have our burger. So now we have some chips. So what are we thinking chips? I think we'll go might go 800 and 600. So 600 and 800. So let's come in. And we'll colour our chips with this 800, which is quite a good chippy colour. But it does just leave them looking a little bit anemic. So it would perfectly work and be perfectly all right if you just wanted to use the one colour. But you might want to add a bit of crispiness to them. There's a basic chip colour. Let's have a look at this one. Just adding so I don't know what sort of chips are your preferred. Do you like sort of the French fries type chips, or are you more of a chunky home style, more of a wedgie person? Let's just come in and sort of blend out that. Blend out our chips, so now they look like they've got sort of slightly crispier fried edges. So I'm doing this quite quickly. You could obviously take a lot more time. You can hear me rattling around. I'm just looking in my watercolour pencil box. I had my hand on it just then. Where's it gone? Early espresso. Let's just add in. If you find that some of your stamping blends are smellier than others, one of those I just used was particularly smelly. Just bringing in some of that definition again. So there is sort of like speckles on these chips, and they are sort of still showing through. But there we are. We have our burger and we have our chips. Move these pens to one side. And of course, with these natural bends, they do come in pairs. So you've got the light combo. In fact, my 1000 looks as if it's wasted away to nothing there. Let's add that in. I'm wondering if that's got a little bit damp somewhere. So it's quite a pinky shade. 1000 on the bottom. So you've got 1900, which is the light combo, 700 and 800 are my medium light combo. The 500 and 600 are the medium combo. 300 and 400 are medium deep, and 100 and 200 are deep combo. So they come in the 2 packs of 2 blends, and then they give you that. They're brilliant for hair, for skin, for all of those sorts of things, but also brilliant for these sorts of projects where you're wanting a variety of sort of browns and sort of more neutral shades. So let's have a look. Let's have our burger. there. We should also want our chips. I can't think what started me off, but I was singing the Will It Be Chips advert the other day. My son looked at me most alarmingly as if I had gone completely and utterly mad, but those of you that are of a similar age may well remember. Will it be chips or jacket spuds? Right, here we go. Oh, lost both of those now. Well, this tape isn't particularly sticky, but hopefully it will just keep it in place enough. Got the wobbles there. Take a bit of this purple tape. Stay, chips. Not sure whether that was all lined up. Let's bring it back just in case it wasn't. Come off. Right, let's bring in some dimensionals. I'll be reverting to the bits around the edge at some point, but that's okay. We don't mind that. Now, this burger actually does have like a slit in the top that you can plunge a knife into, but I think knives are a bit of a delicate subject with teenagers at the moment, so I don't think we'll have a knife on our card. There is such a worrying trend of knife crime amongst young people. Let's not add any knives into our card because we want this to be a positive thing. To tuck my chips under there. Okay. So now we need to decide what we're going to put on there. I think we'll have time to celebrate because we should celebrate our young people. They get quite a bad press. Just wondering what colour to go for. think I'll stick with blueberry bushel. Have a lot of ink around the outside of that. Let's bring in, there we are, I have some thinner strips of white here. One of those will be perfect, I think. Oh. Time to celebrate. Let's take some scissors and yeah, I think I'll just leave it as the 2 bits. Time to let's have a celebrate. We just grab my embellishment folder, which is also still in my class box from earlier. Let's have a look. Ooh. Should we go yellow dots? That would be rather fun, wouldn't it? So let's have some of these yellow dots, and we'll have one down there. Grab a bit of white card. Just trim this down to 9.5 by 13.9 to make back into an insert. What shall we have to decorate that? Let's get the cutter. Just cut a 2 centimetre strip of that paper. And that down the side there. I'm going to leave a bit of a white border. Swing that over and chop, chop. Chop, chop. And then we'll add that inside. So there we go, a time to celebrate burger, which hopefully would go down well with a teenager in your life. So I hope you've enjoyed that little quick video from the spooky lily pad towers here at Love-a-Duckie headquarters. But yes, so do make sure that you follow the links that are listed underneath this video and go and hop around all of the other projects to see what other fabulous ideas people have come up with for cards for teenagers, because that is sometimes a challenging one. To think of new ideas. So now is your chance to go and get lots of fabulous ideas for cards for teenagers in your life. So I hope you enjoy the hop. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Do leave a comment. Love to see what you've said, and I will try and respond to all of them. And do subscribe to my channel while you are here, and catch up with you all very soon.